Hello, my name is Dr. Adesh Soni. What's your name?
Myself Indrajit.
Okay, Nidhi. What's your age?
My age is 23.
23. You are here to measure blood pressure. Why you have to?
I'm here to have routine checkup blood pressure.
Okay. So you have any difficulty in past?
No difficulty.
Okay. So before measuring blood pressure, I have to ask you few more questions.
Yeah, sure.
You have take any caffeine drink in before half an hour?
No.
No. Or you have to come here with stairs, or you have to take lift?
I have to take stairs.
Okay. Then we start after 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Now I am going to check your blood pressure. First, I have to palpate your brachial artery. Then I am going to put this cuff on your hand. Inflate until pulse disappear. Place stethoscope diaphragm on brachial artery. Note the level when you hear sound of two consecutive beats. This is systolic pressure. Inflate until last sound is disappear. Record it is as diastolic pressure. Now, Mr. Indrajit, I noted your BP. Your systolic and diastolic blood pressure is 120 by 80. That's normal. You are doing great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, this is Varshini. Today we are going to do eye examination. Is it okay for you?
Yes,
So please introduce yourself.
I'm Yashwati and I'm 17.
Okay. Before I get into the examination, I would like to ask you one question. Do you use power glasses?
No, I don't.
Okay, now let's start. The first test we are going to do is for the visual acuity. Please close one eye and please read the smallest line you can.
D E F P O T E C.
Good. Now close the other eye. Please read the smallest line you can.
D E F P O T E C.
Good. So the next examination will be for the visual fields. For this test, we are going to do a method called static finger wriggle test. So please follow the instructions what I'm saying. Please close one eye and please let me know whenever you can see my finger moving.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Please close the other eye.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Now we'll do the examination of the conjunctiva and sclera to look for any nodules or swellings. Please look up. Please look down. Good. So now we are going to examine the cornea and the lens. I'm going to use a pen light to check whether you have any opacities in the lens. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to examine the pupils to inspect the size, shape and the symmetry. Now I'm going to test the extraocular muscles. This is a pen light. Please follow the direction of the pen light without moving your head. Okay, let's start. So now I'm going to do the ophthalmoscopic examination. This is to visualize the fundus. This is the instrument I'm going to use. This is called the ophthalmoscope. I'm switching it on and keeping at 0 diopter. At this diopter, it neither converges or diverges. Let's start. Please focus to one point.
Okay, so today I'll be doing your ear examination. So firstly, I will check your auricle for any size deformities, and nextly, I will move your ear auricle up and down and then press the tragus to check for tenderness. We will check your ear canal. So tilt the patient's head a little bit and then pull the auricle up outward and a little backward, and use the suitable speculum and then inspect. Now we shall test you for auditory acuity, and the first test that we will do is going to be the whispered voice test. So I am going to whisper you numbers in alphabets from a distance and just repeat after. A, B, C, D.
A, B, C, D.
Now repeat after me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now I will perform Rene test on you, and I'm going to ask you when you feel the sound louder. Now I'm placing it on your mastoid bone. Did you hear it louder?
Yes.
So you have tested positive for Rene test. Now we will check for any damage to your bones in both of your ears. So I'm going to perform Weber test on you, and you have to tell me in which of your ears do you hear the sound loudest. Okay? In which one do you hear the sound louder?
On right.
Okay, which means that you have hearing disability in your left ear.
Hello, myself Dr. Devika, and today I will going to do an examination of nose and mouth on you. Are you okay with it?
Yes.
Can I know your age and name, please?
My name is Aspisha Mahesh Patil and my age is 21.
Okay, I will do the examination of your nose. For that, I will first inspect your anterior and the inferior part of the nose. Now, I will gently press on the tip of your nose with my thumb, which usually widens the nostrils. Now I will use the pen light to obtain a partial view of each nostril. Now we will do the inspection of a nasal obstruction. For that, I will be pressing on each side of the ala nasi by telling the patient to breathe in. Breathe in. Again breathe in. Okay. Now we will inspect for the nasal mucosa and the nasal septum. Now we will inspect the sinus tendons. For that, now we will do the examination of your mouth. For that, first I will inspect your lips, teeth, gums, buccal mucosa and the tongue. Now we will inspect for the buccal mucosa. For that, we need a pen light and the tongue depressor. Now we will inspect for the gums and teeth. Do ah. Okay. Please open your mouth. Or big ah. Tongue. Okay. Say ah.
Ah.
One more time.
Ah.
Open your mouth. Big. Okay. Take your time out. Tongue out.
Wash your hand before examine the patient. Ask the patient for any pain or discomfort in the mouth. Ask the patient to open the mouth wide. Using tongue depressor, start superiorly, looking at the hard palate and the soft palate. Inspect the hard palate for the color and the architecture. As the patient say R, note the movement of the tonsil and the uvula. The soft palate should rise symmetrically and the uvula stay in the midline. And the pareness, look for the redness, exudates or ulceration, none should be present. Begin the examination of the neck. Sit in front of the patient and examine the neck anteriorly, laterally and posteriorly. Inspect for size, symmetry, deformity, mass and swelling. Note the tone of the neck muscle. Note any visible lymph nodes. Palpate the lymph nodes using the points of the fingers, index and the middle fingers. Move the skin over the underlying tissue in each area. Palpate the anterior, superficial and deep cervical chain, including the supraclavicular node located anterior and superficial to the sternomastoid. Note the node size, shape, delimitation, mobility, consistency and tenderness. Preauricular, posterior auricular, occipital, tonsils, submandibular, submental, superficial cervical, posterior cervical chain. Palpate the trachea for deviation. Place your finger along one side of the trachea and note the space between it and the sternomastoid. When compared to the other side, the space should be symmetric. Next, start the examination of the thyroid. Inspecting the region below the circoid cartilage for the gland. Patient to sip water and swallow. Observe for upward movement of the thyroid gland, noting its contour and symmetry. From the behind, palpate the thyroid gland and ask the patient to take sip of water and then to swallow it. Feel for the thyroid isthmus rising under your finger. Make record of your examination.
Can I know your good name?
Sorry.
Age?
20.
Can you please sanitize? Are you okay for the lung examination? Inspect the chest for any lung or chest deformations. Palpitation. Palpate the tender areas by placing controlled hand pressure and identify where pain is reported and lesions are seen. Check whether pain is. For chest expansion, make sure you keep the both hands on the 10th intercostal of the intercostal space and ask him to take a breath. Note for chest expansion, whether it is symmetrical or non-symmetrical. Percussion. Place your non-dominant middle index finger on the back and press it directly on the patient's skin with your distal interphalangeal joints held firmly against the patient's chest. See it is normal or flat or dull. Auscultation. Determine the characteristics of the different breath sounds by placing the diaphragm of the stethoscope over the expected location of the thorax. Rule number 1. Position the patient in percussion, and coming to the next, place the diaphragm firmly against the chest wall and exclude the extraneous noises. Coming to the third one, escalate each side of the thorax posteriorly from top to the bottom. Coming to the next one, listen and take note of the intensity and the sounds heard and the duration of inspiration and expiration. Now classify the sounds, whether they are bronchial, bronchiovascular, and give their locations. It's a bronchial and the vascular. Listen and identify any adventitious sounds and note its timing in the respiratory cycles. Next, listen to the sounds of the patient's spoken, whispered voice as they are transmitted to the chest wall. 99. 99.
My name is Garagandi Ramaramaya. As a part of work, today I am going to do jugular venous pressure and cardiac examination. And this is the patient on whom I am going to do the exam. We are going to assess jugular vein. Where is the jugular vein? Can you please turn your head right side? This is sternomastoid muscle. Under sternomastoid muscle, there is a vein that has direct access to the right atrium. That vein is called as the jugular vein. Jugular vein is located under the sternomastoid muscle. Then, how to measure the jugular venous pressure? We can measure the jugular venous pressure by two ways: right internal jugular vein and left internal jugular vein, and external jugular vein will be also present. But we are going to test the jugular venous pressure only on the right internal jugular vein. Why? Because, can you please tell me? Right internal jugular vein has a direct connection to the right atrium, so we will get accurate measurement of the after measuring. If we choose external jugular vein, it has a right angled branch over here. So when we measure, we may get inaccurate, not correct measurement. So we choose right internal jugular vein. So let's start. I had two scales with me. I am going to place one scale right above the sternum, and I am going to choose right internal jugular vein over here, and I am going to keep the other scale over here, and I am going to measure here, and I got the measurement. It is very normal, and it is less than 3 centimeters. So this person is not having any kind of pulmonary embolism or kind of things. Again we have placed the person in 30 degrees angle, and again we are going to take the measurements. Let's go. Can you please turn your head towards the right side? And internal jugular vein is present over here, and we are going to take the measurements. We have placed the scale on the sternum, and we are going to take the measurement right above from the sternum jugular vein, and we got the measurement, and it is of normal. Heart examination we are going to do on the person placed over here, and the person is placed on his supine position, and on the upper part is undressed. And first we are going to inspection is done in the thoracic area, and there is no scars, and there are no marks, so there is no sign of cardiac surgery. And we are going to check on the neck area, the nerves and the arteries present over here. There is no sign of cardiac palpitations, and we are going to palpate the person's body over here and the apex of the heart. First we are going to palpate on the apex of the heart, and we are palpating over here and there is no sign of pain. Next we are going to palpate on the aortic area present over here, and there is no sign of pain here also. Next, the pulmonary area, there is no sign of pain here also. Next we are going to do osculation. Osculation of aorta is done over here, which is located on the second intercostal space near to the sternal angle. And osculation of pulmonary valve is located over here, which is located on second intercostal area towards the left, and which is near to the sternal angle. And to access the tricuspid valve, we need to check here, which is located in the fourth intercostal space. And to access the mitral valve, we are going to check here, which is located in the fifth intercostal space. And to check the sternal stenosis, we need to check the carotid pulse. Can you please turn this side? Carotid pulse. And everything is normal. And to access, and we are going to check the aortic pulse, which we are going to make the person to sit up. We are checking the aortic pulse here, and brachial pulse over here. And to check the aortic stenosis, we need to check the carotid pulse, which is located over here. Thank you.
Before the general abdominal examination, ask the patient to lie down on a flat surface and drape the patient above the nipples. Now observe the symmetry of the abdomen and observe the skin for any change in color, or if there is any lesions or scars. Observe for any abnormal findings such as abnormal bulges or dilated superficial blood vessels, or pulsations outside of the epigastric region, or any peristaltic waves or masses. Warm the diaphragm of the stethoscope before auscultating, and now place the stethoscope on all the four quadrants of the patient abdomen and look for any irregular bowel sounds. On the right lower quadrant, look for any popping or bubbling sounds. Percuss the abdomen on all four quadrants randomly. And listen for any tympani and dullness. Place one palm of the hand on one flank and percuss the other flank using the other hand. And feel the impulse transmitted through the fluid towards the palm of your hand. With the patient in the supine position, begin percussion at the level of the umbilicus and proceed downwards laterally. Repeat the percussion beginning the marked point and towards the umbilicus. Ask the patient to relax his abdominal muscles and ask the patient to be calm. Now place the palpating hand on the abdomen and ask the patient to take deep breaths, and ask the patient for any discomfort or if he is feeling ticklish. In the light palpation, palpate the hand for about 1 centimeter, gently, saving the painful areas for the last. Place the other hand above the palpating hand and use the pressure to palpate for about 4 to 5 centimeters and in a gliding manner, and look for any tenderness or masses. First, in rebound tenderness, if the patient has any tenderness in his abdomen, then palpate the area of tenderness deeply until the patient can tolerate, and then suddenly remove your fingers. If the pain intensifies, then the patient is positive of rebound tenderness. And in the Rovsing sign, there is right lower quadrant pain when there is pressure on the left lower quadrant. Place your hand proximal to the patient's knee and ask the patient to flex against the resistance. If there is increased pain in the right lower quadrant, then the patient is positive of psoriasis. To flex the hip and knee at right angle and rotate the hip internally. This stretches the internal obturator muscle. If there is any pain in the right lower quadrant, then the patient is positive of obturator sign. Finger of the right hand over the costal margin of the right upper quadrant and ask the patient to take deep breaths. If the patient stops breathing at a sharp point, then the patient is positive of Murphy's sign.
Now I will start the examination of the liver. First I will locate the midclavicular line. I will start the percussion from striking to the right lower quadrant below to the umbilicus. Identify the lower border of dullness. I will percuss midclavicular line. And identify the upper border of dullness. I will percuss the nipple line. Percussion may be light to moderate and try to assess overlying soft tissue and try to assess lower border of liver. Length of 12 strips and assess the right upper quadrant lateral to the rectus abdominis. To take a deep breath and try to assess overlying soft tissue and try to assess lower border of liver. I can assess the lower border of liver when it moves down. Below my fingertips, it is the anterior surface of the. It is also important. I will place both my hands below the lower border of rib and tell to the patient take two deep breath. In this process, we can assess lower border of liver. Now I will assess tenderness. For this, I will use my left hand below the right costal margin and ulnar surface of right hand to lightly strike on the liver and tell to the patient to compare the sensation. Now I will start the spleen examination. Spleen is present below the lower costal margin. Now I will ask the patient to take a deep breath. I will palpate the spleen as it moves down. Spleen is palpable in 5% of adults. Now I will tell to the patient to turn right and bend to knees. position may bring to the spleen to the forward and right to the palpable location. Now I will start the percussion from axillary line, costal margin and cardiac dominance. Absence of tympanic sound may lead to splenomegaly. Tympanic sound is prominent.
I am Sir Subramanian Lely. Today I am going to do a shoulder examination for you. What's your name?
I am Siva Subramanian,
Your age?
57.
For the shoulder examination, you have to remove your shirt. Is that okay for you?
Okay.
For the examination, you should wash your hands. Inspection, inspect the shoulder and shoulder girdle anteriorly and scapula and the surrounding musculatures for any muscular atrophy, deformity. Palpation, palpate for the sternoclavicular joint and palpate the clavicle laterally with the fingers. From behind, trace the bony spine of the scapula laterally upward. Modify the anterior tuck and palpate the acromial clavicular joint. Move the thumb medially down the coracoid process of the scapula and palpate the greater tubercle of the humerus, deltoid tendons in the intertubercular groove and palpate for the tenderness the humerus posteriorly so that you can palpate the subacromial bursa and subdeltoid bursa and the underlying slits muscles. The range of motion, first flexion, raise your hand in front of you and over the head. Do you feel pain?
No.
For extension, raise your arm behind you. Do you feel pain?
No.
For the abduction, raise your arm side of you and over the head. Do you feel pain?
No.
For the adduction, cross your arm in front of the body. Do you feel pain?
No.
For the internal rotation, place one hand behind your back and touch the scapula blade. Do you feel pain?
No.
For the external rotation, raise your arm to the shoulder, bend your elbow, rotate your forearm towards ceiling. Crossover test, adduct the patient's hand across the chest. Apply scratch test, ask the patients to touch the opposite scapula, the abduction and external rotation, and adduction and internal rotation. Knee impingement sign, press the scapula and raise the arm with other hand. Hawkins impingement test, flex the arm and the elbow to 90 degree, placing the palms downwards and place one hand on the forearm and one hand on the arm and compress the greater tubercle. Drop arm test, ask the patients to adduct fully to 90 degree to the shoulder and lowers it slowly. Empty can test, elevate the arm 90 degree and internally rotate the hand facing the thumb downwards and rest it. Infraspinatus test, ask the patients to adduct and flex the arm 90 degrees, placing the thumb upward and ask them to rest it.
You have to inspect the hand properly. Is there any visible deformities? Is there any nodules on the hand? No deformities. Now after carpal, we are going to the metacarpal and phalanges joint here. And these are the proximal interphalanges joint. Check it out properly. After this, we have to palpate. So what we have to palpate? We have to palpate like radial, ulnar and the carpal joint. The wrist joint as well, we will do the flexion and the extension. So will you please down like this and up. Did you feel any pain? No. After flexion and extension, we are going to abduction and adduction. So first of all, make a fist. Now try to inward and outward. With this, we are going to the sensation test. Open your hand. Did you feel any sensation or pain? Yes. Next is hand grip strength. I am gonna give fingers to the patient and I will instruct him to just squeeze him as much as you can. Pressurize it how much as you can. This is fickle string test. This test is basically for the wrist pain. You just put your thumb inside the palm and you have to close make the proper wrist. We are going to rotate it for the ulnar deviation. Do you feel any pain? No. This is thumb abduction test. This test is basically for the carpal tunnel test. So what you have to do? You have to abduct your thumb like this, and then I will put some resistance over here and you oppose my pressure. Do you feel any pain? No. Next is Fallon test. So what you have to do? You have to do opposite surface of your hand like this. And tell me, do you feel any pain? No. Next is reverse Fallon test. In reverse Fallon test, we have to just it like this. So just do it. Do you feel any pain? No.
With the patient supine position, flex his knee and not for any deformity or alignment problem. Not any halos around the patella or atrophy of the quadriceps muscles. Straight, now palpate the suprapatellar pouch, each side of the quadriceps, and checking for the swellings. With the knee flex 90 degree, assess the medial joint compartment for any tenderness. Palpate the medial femoral condyle, then adductor tuberculus and medial tibial plateau, and also the medial collateral ligament. Access the lateral joint compartment, then palpate the femoral lateral condyle, then lateral tibial plateau, and finally collateral ligament. Range of motion in each knee, beginning with flexion and extension. Now check the internal and external rotation of the knee. In medial collateral ligament, with one hand, push the lateral side of the knee medially and pull the ankle laterally. Check for any tear. For lateral collateral ligament, push the knee laterally with one hand and pull the ankle medially with another hand. Check for any tear. In anterior cruciate ligament test, check for anterior drawer sign. Move the tibia forward and check for any sliding movement. Posterior cruciate ligament test, check for posterior drawer sign. Check for any sliding movement. Now please extend your leg to check the integrity of patellar ligament.
Good morning, my name is Deepak.
Good morning.
May I know your name, please?
My name is Supriya.
Okay, I'm a medical student.
Now gain patient consent and proceed. Always wash your hands before and after procedure.
Do you observe any change of smell today?
No.
So now I'm going to test your sense of smell.
Okay.
So I request you to close your eyes.
Okay.
Place one of your thumb on one of your nostril. So can you please identify this odor?
That's odor of a camphor.
Okay, now please close the other nostril. And can you identify the odor now?
It is also the odor of a camphor.
Now I'm going to check your visual acuity. So please place your hand on one of your eye. Now please read the Snell's chart placed over there.
DEFPOTEC. EFPOTEC.
Look at the wall.
Using a ophthalmoscope, assess the anterior part of the eye. Back of the eye, identify a blood vessel and follow it back to the optic disc.
Okay, so now I'm going to check your visual field. So place one of your hand on your eye. Okay. So now I'm going to wiggle my hand. So please tell me which direction I'm wiggling. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Now please place your hand on other eye. Now I'm going to assess your eyes. So, are you photosensitive?
No.
Okay. So now I'm going to dim lights and I'm going to flash light on your eyes. Is it okay for you?
Okay.
Now perform swinging light test, as this may reveal a relative afferent pupillary defect. I ask the patient to place her radial side of her hand in between the eyes, and I flash the light from the lateral sides to observe pupillary constriction of the opposite eye.
Please keep looking at this pen, at this tip of this pen. Please don't look sideways. Just focus on it.
Okay.
Patient has normal constriction of both the pupils and adduction of both eyes.
Okay, that's good.
Now I'm going to assess palpebrae fissure. Okay. Now measure the width of the palpebrae fissure. 2 to 3 mm is the normal. Patients with ptosis condition has greater width than normal.
Now please keep looking at my finger. Don't move your head. Please rotate only your eyes.
This helps to test muscles involved in eye movement which are innervated by CN3, 4 and 6.
Okay, that's fine.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah and my name is Vijayalakshmi. So I believe we'll look at the physical examination of the cranial scalpel and yes. So let's begin. Let me first wash my hand. Okay, now let's begin examination of the cranial nerves. So first I'll examine the lower aspect of the trigeminal nerve. So I'll just palpate your masseter and your temporal jaws, temporal and your lateral pterygoid muscle movements. So I'll just need you to clench your jaws. Okay, can you just open your mouth and don't let me close it. Move your lateral jaw up, right and left. Okay, to assess the sensory part of the trigeminal nerve. So using the light touch, just tell me if you're able to feel the sensation. Able to feel? Yes. Able to feel? Yes. Okay, now using the pinprick. So just tell me if you're able to feel the sensation. Yes. Okay, fine. Okay, can you just look up straight? I'll just place the cotton spap just lateral to your cornea. It should blink. So this is how we do the examination of the corneal reflex. So let's start with the examination of the facial now. So can you just show your teeth? Can you raise your eyebrows? Can you close your eyes so that I should not be able to open them? Can you pop your cheeks? Can you show me your lip muscles? Okay, now to check for the vestibular cochlear nerve. So I'll start with the whispered voices. I'll close your left ear and I'll whisper something to your right ear. Just tell me what you're able to hear, okay? 1, 2, 3. I'll do it for the right ear also. 1, 2, 3. Now for the Webber's test, I'll strike the tuning fork and place it with the forehead. Tell me if you're able to feel the vibrations. Yes. Move the ears. Yeah. Now for the release test, I'll strike the tuning fork and I'll place it behind the ear. Just tell me when the vibrations are ending. Yeah, stop. Is it able to hear it now? No. I'll do it for the other ears. Tell me when you're able to. Yeah, stop. Yeah, I'm able to hear vibration.
Good morning. Today we are going to conduct examination of cranial nerve 9 and 10. Observe the patient for any abnormalities in articulation and pronation. After the observation, we are going to observe the vulval position. It should be the midline. Open your mouth. Can you please lift your head upwards? Okay. Into the palate position of the patient. Okay. Now we are going to perform the guard reflexes. Open your mouth. Use the tongue depressor. Stimulate the pharyngeal mucosa. Okay. Now we are going to perform perform the examination of cranial nerve 11. Can you please turn your head? Resist my hand. Now I am going to examine your shoulder. I'm palpating your shoulder. Can you please equate your shoulder upwards? You need to resist my hand. Okay. Ask the patient to protrude his tongue. Can you please protrude your tongue? Look for the asymmetric atrophy and diversion from the midline. Can you please move your tongue side by side? The movement should be smoothly performed and rhythmic in character. Now we are going to conduct bicep reflection test. Can you please raise your hand? Okay. Now we are going to conduct tricep reflection test. We are going to conduct bilateral reflection. I am going to reflect on the 1/3 of the wrist. Now we are going to perform the knee reflex. Okay. Now I am going to perform the ankle test. Okay. Now I am going to perform the Babinski reflex. Now we are going to perform Clone's reflex.
Good evening, my name is Krishna. May I know your name, please? Today I will perform some tests to check your cerebral function. Is that okay for you? Okay, first test is our finger nose finger test. For that I will hold my index finger here, bring your index finger here, touch it, and then back to touch your nose. Okay. Our second test is rapid alternating movement. For that you have to do rapid alternating movement by putting your palm over here, your knee. Then do chain back side, front side, back side. Do it in shift motion as fast as you can. Okay. Our next test is heel to shin test. For that, put your heel on the tubular part of the other leg, anterior tubular part. Then move like that. Okay. For the gate, you have to walk around the room many times. Then I will notice your posture, your hand movement. Okay? Okay. The next test is random walking test. For that you have to walk like that. Okay? Okay. Yes. Now walk on your toes. On your heels. Okay. Now you have to hop on place. Okay. You have to do shallow knee bend test. Okay. I will perform Rambach test. For that, place your feet close, feet like that, sides free. Then stand for 30 seconds.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Silvaran. Today we will be doing the sensory examination. In that we will be testing the spinal thermal tract, the help of the pain and temperature testing, and your posterior columns with the help of the position and vibration test, and both of these pathways with the help of light test. I will be explaining more about the procedures when moving forward. We give you consent to do this sensory examination.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Can I know your age and name, please?
I'm Tanish and I'm 20 years old.
Okay, thank you. Now we are going to test your right sensation. For that, now I am going to use using this soft cotton, and without pressure I will be touching you. When you feel it, kindly tell us. Okay. Before that, can you kindly close your eyes? Okay. When you feel the sensation, kindly tell us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
First, we will be testing your primary sensation with the help of this cotton swab. So here now we will be using the sharp end of the cotton swab and the blunt end. So this is the blunt end of the cotton swab. We feel it, and this is the sharp end.
Yes.
So now I need you to close your eyes, and I need you to tell me the sensation which you are sensing now. Tell me whether it's blunt or sharp.
It's blunt.
Okay.
It's sharp.
Okay. It's
Sharp.
okay. Thank you. I will be testing your temperature sensation. So I will be using this tuning fork, which is cold. So you will be sensing this sensation. So now can you close your eyes? Okay, when you feel the sensation, can you tell us?
Yes.
No?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I will be testing your vibration sensation. For that, I am going to use the 125 Hz tuning fork, and I will be vibrating it by beating in the heat of my palm. And when you feel the vibration sensation, can you tell us? If you don't feel the sensation, tell no. Now can you kindly close your eyes? Okay. Place the tuning fork at the interphalangeal joint of the patient. Do you feel? Yes. Okay. Do you feel? Yes. Okay. Now, do you feel? No. I am testing your proprioception, joint position sense. For that, I am going to hold your toe by its sides, and I will be moving your toe up and down. While moving your toe up, you need to tell up, and down, you need to tell down. For this, kindly can you close your eyes? Okay. Tell up when you move your toe up. Up. Okay. Down. Okay. Up. Okay. Up. Okay. Thank you. Examine your discriminatory sensations. First, we will be doing the stereogenesis. It is the ability of a person to identify an object by touching it. So, for that, can you close your eyes now? So, I will be placing some objects on your hand. I need you to identify it. Okay, can you open your mouth? Okay. Identify this.
It is a coin.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell what is this?
A coin's cap.
Okay, thank you. Aphesthesia. It is the in which I will be drawing a number in your palm, big number with this pen cap. I need you to identify it. Can you now close your eyes? Okay. Can you give your arm? Okay. Can you tell what is this? 3. Okay. Can you tell what is this?
0.
2-point discrimination test. For that you can paper clip. Okay. Now I need you to close your eyes and tell you are feeling a 2-point discrimination or 1 point. Okay. Can you tell how many points is this?
2 points.
Okay. No.
1 point.
Okay. No.
2 points.
Okay. Thank you.
I am Navnesh. What's your name and age?
My name is Naren. My age is 20.
We are going to do physical examination on a motor test all over extremity. Shall we proceed?
Okay.
Before going to start the physical examination, we need to sanitize our hands First, make sure the patient is comfortable with this position and start to inspect the legs for any inflammation or involuntary movements in both legs. And then we have to see muscle bulk. See there the muscle is flat or concave in shape. And then now check muscle tone. Relax. Stop. We are going to examine hip flexion. I am going to keep my hand in anterior mid thigh. Okay. Relax. And we are going to examine extension of hip. I am going to keep my hand in posterior thigh mid. Extend your thigh. Okay. Relax. Now we are going to examine on hip abduction. You try to, now I will join your legs, you try to split your legs. Okay, good. Relax. Next we are going to see hip adduction. Now I am going to keep my hands in the middle of the knees. You need to get closer to your legs against my hands. Okay, relax. Now we start with the knee extension. You try to extend your leg. Okay, relax. We are going to do knee flexion. You try to keep your knee down with my resting of my hand. Okay, relax. Now we are going to do examination on dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. I will give pressure on your dorsum. You try to pull upwards. Okay, good. Relax. Now I will give pressure on in plantar. Try to push. Okay, good. Relax. Thank you.
So we have to do a motor examination of your upper extremities. So for that, I would like you to take off your clothes. Would you mind that? No. Okay. Then I will wash my hands while you take off your clothes. So first we'll be doing your inspection for the position and all. I'll be looking for any involuntary movements, and then I'll be checking for your muscle bulk. So for that I'll be touching your hands. Will that be okay? Yeah, sure. Okay. Then can you keep your hands like this? So now we have to check your muscle tone. For that I need you to relax your hands completely, okay? And I'll be checking your members. So we'll test your muscle strength now. To test your muscle strength, I'll be telling you some movements, and you have to oppose I'll be putting some resistance, and you have to oppose the resistance. Okay. Okay. So we'll now be testing your shoulders. For that, you need to do the abduction and adduction. Okay. But against my resistance. Okay. So do the abduction. Now same opposite abduction. Test your elbows. For that I need you to do flexion and then extension, but against my resistance. Okay. So now flex it. So now extend it. So we'll now test your wrist. For that I need you to do extension like this, flexion like this against my resistance. Okay. So now try to extend it. Okay. Now try flexing it. In your grip. So for that I need you to hold this in your hand and try to squeeze it as hard as you can. Okay. So we'll now test the abduction of your fingers. For that I need you to put your fingers like this, and I'll be putting pressure, and you have to resist it. Okay. So we'll now be testing a position of your thumb. For that I need you to try and touch your little finger with your thumb, and I'll be putting resistance to it. Okay. So